I'd like to welcome everybody to the February meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order. First item on our agenda is the prayer and pledge of allegiance, and Harold has agreed to do that for us. Harold?
Let's pray. Father in heaven, we just thank you for today, God. We just ask for you to guide and direct all that we do, Father. We thank you for this great nation. We thank you for this great city, Father, and just allow all our deliberations to be for their good and for the good of the country and the nation as a whole. We give you all the credit in all that we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Harold. Everybody should have received their packet earlier in the week, and contained in the packet was the minutes from our January meeting. At this time, we'll entertain any changes or corrections that need to be made to the minutes, and if there are none, motion for acceptance.
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We'll move now to new business. Item number 1 under new business is the Richard Siegel Park update, consideration of the Murfreesboro Youth Volleyball League, and a consideration of lock-in at SportsComments. I believe Thomas Laird is going to take care of that for us.
As all of you are probably aware, Richard Siegel Park has become one of the most prestigious and honored places to play soccer in the state. With the 100-team Bastion and Borough tournament, it all began. From there, we acquired the Spring Fling, which is the high school state championships. And then last year, we played host to the Division I Boys State Cup, which is the highest level of soccer within Tennessee State Soccer. And now we've been honored on a national level by being asked to host the Division II President's Cup. Mona Vaughn and the ladies at the Chamber are working hard at acquiring this tournament, but I wanted to impress upon you that the reason they brought that to us is the outstanding maintenance staff and local volunteers that make this facility, though it's hands down one of the best in the country, the people surrounding it makes it host the best tournaments in the country. So I wanted to bring that to you and let you know that we're not only the best facility within the state now, we're moving on to the southeast and even the national level. So
It's great news.
next on the agenda is...
Before we move off of that, Mr. Laird, if you could just inform the Commission what the President Cup includes, and just a comment, I guess. First, one of the things that we have tried to do since opening the Richard Siegel Park is try to get the highest level tournaments that we could get. Of course, Spring Fling is a huge boost for the economy here in Murfreesboro. Brings in about $3.4 million that week it is here. That's a pretty big economic impact. So we're looking for other tournaments of equal quality. Like Thomas mentioned, we have the Bastion and Borough. That's over 100 teams. In the spring, we have another in the fall that's over 100 teams. And you can see that what we've listed here, there's some pretty impressive tournaments and very high caliber soccer that's being played at the Richard Siegel Park. And I'd like for Thomas just to give you a little more information about the President's Cup, who it entails, what regions, and so forth.
Well, soccer across the United States is broke up into several regions. We participate in Region 3, which is a southeastern region. And, of course, Tennessee, having one of the nicest facilities, was brought by the committee of the President's Cup to host. And immediately they thought of our complex. The President's Cup is equivalent to the national championship. It's where all the regions will come together and compete. 36 teams, the best 36 Division II teams throughout the country will compete in this tournament. So it's a really high honor. Division II is ranked as the second best players within the country. Division I would be your highest caliber of players, your semi-pros, your high school and college athletes. that are under 19. But the Division II is the next level, and to host a national championship is remarkable. Generally, that's years in the planning. They go through regional competitions, and facilities host various different tournaments before building up to that. So for them to come to us and say that they want us to host the President's Cup now is a huge, huge honor. And like I said before, the facility is hands down one of the nicest in the country. But I think what has drawn these tournaments into prestige is the amount of local volunteers that jump in there and serve as field marshals, parking attendants, concession workers, scorekeepers. It goes on and on. And then our maintenance staff is hands down the best that we've ever had. The last Division I tournament, Tennessee State Soccer could not impress upon us how much it was a relief to not worry about restrooms being attended to, or trash cans being overflowed, or fields not being ready. We have an outstanding maintenance staff there at Siegel, and it's a credit to this department to be a part of it. Any questions on Siegel Park?
Anybody have any questions for Thomas? That's exciting news, man.
Yep. The next thing on our agenda, if you're like myself and several others, when SportsComm was built, there's been a numerous amount of kids that have called the gyms their second home. And myself alike, always wished that we could stay the night and play in the gym all night. So those of us at SportsComm have put our heads together, and we've come up with the Gym Rats Lock-In. So the Gym Rats, that's typically what we were called as kids when we spent most of our time in the gym. So we've come up with a night, April 3rd, where kids can check in at 9 p.m. We'll have full-time staff there the entire time to oversee activities and ensure safety. But we'll swim, we'll watch a movie in the meeting room, we'll play pool in the lobby, and then, of course, we'll play in the gym all night long. With a variety of activities from baseball, or wiffle ball, basketball, volleyball, the such. So I think it'd be a great event for us, and something we can build on and grow. We're going to start out small. We're only taking 40 participants this time. It'll be $10. We'll buy pizza, and we'll have a T-shirt to remember the occasion. And I think we'll have a great time, and hopefully in the future we can continue this event and make it a tradition.
Anybody have any questions of Thomas regarding this program? If there are none, then we need to approve this, and I need a motion to that effect.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Program's approved. Thomas, thank you. I believe you got one more.
We got one more. I don't know if you know it or not, but Murfreesboro has become a mecca for adult volleyball from surrounding Middle Tennessee areas. We have teams that come in from Nashville, Shelbyville, Tullahoma, around, and of course there's several from Murfreesboro. But we have a significantly large adult league. It's one of our larger adult leagues, and now with the inception of volleyball in the middle schools, we saw a need to offer those basic fundamental skills to girls that were wanting to try out. So about a year ago, we started a youth volleyball class. It was 1 hour a week, and we taught those basic fundamental skills to get those girls ready for tryouts. And while many of them are moving on and playing high school ball, the only real league or youth volleyball for girls are at surrounding towns, and they're on a higher, much more competitive level. And of course, it's extremely costly to participate in those programs. What we would like to do, we think that we have enough participation now, we've got enough people willing to support the program that we could offer a volleyball program for youth this spring. Spring being the typical time that's opposite of your school leagues, so that girls playing in school leagues could come in and play and be a part. Now, of course, this program is not budgeted, and we have a significant budget for our adult volleyball, and so I myself would fill in as an official so that we don't override our budgeted volleyball officials' costs. And then equipment is already there. We have it for our adult program, so I think it'd be a very cost-efficient program, and it's something that we can build on to create for girls that didn't have the money to go to these clubs and play volleyball.
Great. Anybody have any questions of Thomas?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. First question. This is only for girls 9 to 15, or is this going to be open up to girls and boys?
Well, we would not exclude boys, obviously, and if we needed to move it towards a co-ed program, or if we had enough participation to offer girls and boys. But if there's boys that would like to participate, similar to our cheerleading program, we do not exclude boys from participating in that. So we would allow boys, and that's kind of why we stopped it at 15. Once you get older, when they get 16, 17, 18 years old, the difference in a boy and a girl hitting the ball is significant. But at this level, 15, we feel like the net height and everything would keep it safe if we were to keep boys in the program.
And it's just going to be this encompassing age group, or are you going to break it up, break teams up and leagues up?
Well, and it really is going to depend on our participation numbers. Ideally, we would like to have 2 divisions. We'd like to have a younger and an older division. But, as recreation professionals, we oftentimes have to take what we have and work with it. So we'll do whatever we have to do to make it work.
How many kids are you anticipating might?
I'm really hoping that we can draw in around 30 to 40 girls so that we can have, minimum we got to have 24 to have 4 teams. But it would be nice to have up to 6 teams to be able to play.
Sounds like a fun program.
Okay.
Any other questions? If there are none, we'll need a motion for approval of this program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved.
Thank you.
Thomas, thanks for the report.
Yes,
That's
sir.
great stuff. Thank you. We'll move now to item 2 under new business, and we're going to have an overview of a Bradley swim program and a St. Patrick's Day getaway. Nate?
Yes. Good afternoon. It's good to see you guys again. As always, it's a privilege to be up here. I'm real excited. The aquatics department is excited to work with the Murfreesboro City Schools, in particular Bradley Elementary, which is right next to Patterson Park. We've been wanting to do this for a while. We've had the opportunity to sit down with Mr. Charles Avent, who's the physical education teacher at Bradley, and get together a plan on how we can incorporate Patterson Park's pool into Bradley Elementary's physical education program. And we've done that, and we're excited about it. I'm here to present to you our plan for what we want to do with the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders at Patterson from Bradley Elementary. The goal of this program, we kind of laid it out, is to teach students at Bradley how to swim while learning the benefits of water safety and general aquatic exercise. So the goal of the program is to teach the kids how to swim while teaching several other things in the water. Some of the things that we're going to cover are swim lessons, of course. That's what the program is really going to revolve around, is getting the kids comfortable in the water, exposing them to things they might not otherwise be used to, or exposing them how to go about the safe way to approach water. We're going to do some water exercise, which is great for kids. Junior lifeguarding skills, which is a class that we teach at SportsComm. We have a junior lifeguarding camp. We're going to go over that with the kids, along with general water safety, and of course we're going to have some open swim time for all the kids, just to enjoy their time in the water. This is going to be a trial run this spring session. It's going to be April 20th through May 22nd. It's going to be 5 weeks. What we're going to do is have kids come in every Monday through Friday, 2 classes at a time to participate in the program. And that's when we'll go over all the activities. They'll come once per week combined with other class. So it'll be about 40 kids that we estimate come into the pool at every time. Myself and Nikki will be leading the program, so we'll have one of us there along with 2 extra lifeguards. Mr. Charles Avent from the physical education program at Bradley, and he has 1 educational assistant. That'll all be in the water with the kids, teaching these valuable skills. It's going to go on from 1 p.m. To 2 p.m., which is when the pool is closed every day, so we won't have any other activities going on, but except this Bradley swim program. What we've done so far, I've met with Mr. Avent several times on this event, or this session, these classes that we're going to have. I've given him a letter to approve to send to the parents of the children, just to let them know what to expect, what their kid needs to bring. And of course, he'll send out permission slips for the kids to participate in the program. But Bradley kids, every kid will be able to participate in these age groups because the pool's shallow. It won't be any danger to the kids at all. It'll be a really good time. For the future, we'd like to do 2 6-week sessions every year with Bradley Elementary. Like I said, this is just our first trial run. It's going to be a 5-week session. There's no cost involved. We're happy to do this for the city schools, and hopefully we can continue our program and grow, possibly incorporate other schools. But this is going to be our first proposed trial run. I'm excited about working with Mr. Avent and the staff over there. Ms. Payne, the principal at Bradley, is very excited, and I think we've got a really supportive group that's excited about this. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, let you know what was going to happen, and just get you behind us, and look forward to the future of the program.
Great.
Mr. Chairman, I know that in our initial conversations with the Murfreesboro City School officials, we had talked about developing a pilot program. I think Nate and his staff has done a great job working with the Murfreesboro City Schools to develop that pilot program. But we also talked about in the future expanding where we can use a SportsComm pool, where we can use Patterson pool for other schools, because aquatics is such an important part of a child's development. You think about how many children get in trouble. You read those tragic stories in the newspaper, and one of the missions of our aquatics department is try to so-called waterproof Murfreesboro's citizens. And we think this is a great start to doing that. We'd really love to be able to expand that so we cover just about every kid in the city school systems sometime in the future with this program. So we're going to look at expansion. We're going to see how this goes. We're going to tweak that. We're going to ask for volunteers through the schools. And there's ways of putting many students in the pool safely with volunteers and having lead instructors where we can perform those kind of skills. So we're excited about this. We think it's a great program.
Are there any questions of Nate?
Yes, sir. I got a question.
Go for it.
You said it wouldn't be any additional cost involved to the Parks and Recreation Department?
There won't be any charges for Bradley. We won't charge anybody. We're just going to work in conjunction with the city schools.
Will there be any cost?
There won't be
that we
any
will
cost
incur?
on our part as far as the lifeguards that we'll hire, or that will hire the existing lifeguards that will participate in the program to keep it safe.
They're already on the clock working?
Already on the clock working during the time. So that will be our only costs. The city schools have agreed to buy towels for all the kids that participate in the program and help out with any kids who might not have swimsuits. So the city school they're on board with getting every kid in the water. And that's really our goal, is get all the kids in the water. We see, I know at SportsComm and Patterson, so many people come to the pool, and the number of people who aren't comfortable in the water as far as kids that really shouldn't be left alone in the water is just very alarming and surprising. And safety is our number one goal, and this is what we think we can do for the city, for the community, to get more kids in the water and participating safely.
We're going to evaluate this after this year is over?
We are,
school
Mr.
term's over?
Gibbs, and good question on the cost, too, because that was one of the things when we talked about, our initial conversations with the city schools is we really don't have any money extra for this program. That's why we asked for participation from the city school staff. And looking forward, what we've talked about with the Murfreesboro City School personnel is seeking some grants that would target this program and other programs that we'll be developing, we'll be bringing to you, that will be joint efforts between Murfreesboro City Schools and Parks and Recreation. But where that can fund those needed instructors or materials that they may need and so forth for those particular classes. And the way they talked during that point, they think that there are some sufficient grants that would be available for these programs. So we're doing the initial program. That gives us a baseline. So when we put in the grants, we can talk about the successes we've had with the pilot program, and we can ask for additional funds based on the number of students that we will target in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Now, Lanny, since this is just informational only, right, we don't need to take action on this since it doesn't involve a fee or anything like that, do we? Kelly's shaking her head no.
Mr. Chairman, I really don't think it does. We just wanted to bring it to you so that you knew what we were trying to do and know in the future there may be some approval processes,
right,
and we may be putting something in our budget to help initiate, the program. But
What about from the liability?
There's, the students will be signing a release that releases the city, Parks and Rec Department and the Murfreesboro City Schools from liability.
We have a standard release, Mr.
Information
Gibbs,
flows.
that we do for all of our classes and camps and so forth, and we'll use that standard release.
Those permission forms will be going out with the letter to the parents. We've established with Mr. Avon already. So those will be going out and getting signed before any of the kids get in the water. We're hoping to get those out about a month before the kids get in. So,
Thanks. Well, it sounds like a fantastic program. Good luck with it.
thank you.
Nikki, you're going to update us on the St. Patrick's Day getaway.
Yes, sir, I am. Okay, what I was hoping to do was the Friday prior to St. Patrick's Day, which is February 13th, we're going to do a gym and swim type event, but it's going to be called the St. Patrick's Day Getaway. Of course, we're going to have open swim for the kids to go and enjoy the great facility we have over at Patterson, but also we're going to tie-dye shirts for our arts and crafts, and then also we're going to provide food and drink for them. We're going to have pizza and root beer floats. So I think it should be a good time. But what I'm proposing is, instead of normally we have $5 pre-register and $7 at the door, just keeping it $5 across the board for the night of our early registration.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we would need approval for that
Sure.
one.
Are there anybody have any questions of Nikki for the St. Patrick's Day event?
We're going to dye the swimming pool green?
Oh, of course.
And we talked about that. We couldn't figure out how we get it back to blue
How we
the
get
next day.
Just don't put any chemicals for a few days. Turn things. That's how mine works at home.
That would work. I don't think it
I don't think
passes.
that's the green we're looking for. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. We need a motion for approval of this program.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved.
Thank you.
Have fun with that. Moving on to item number 3 under new business. Deborah Pascal is going to come up and give us an update on Wilderness Station's programs and activities. Deborah?
Hi, how's everyone?
Great.
I'm ready for spring. How about you guys? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to update you a little bit today about the Wilderness Station. We've been out there 9 years in March, and we're still going strong. Lots of good activities going on, even in the wintertime. But we really are looking forward to spring. Every year, one of the first signs of spring is the butterflies start popping out in the woods, and so we'll have people come out and start saying, what's that little white and orange butterfly out there? And these are the ones that are really early spring, so we're looking forward to hearing about the butterflies in the woods, the little orange-tipped falcons. There's so many things that have been going on. In butterflies, I'm starting out with that because we just had a huge response with our butterfly programs this year and in the years past. We have a terrific garden. We have programs that folks are coming out where we allow them to hold the butterflies, and we're having educational programs where we can teach folks about the different types of plants. We'll went a little too far on that one. But the butterfly, we have a butterfly day celebration where we had over 250 people this year, the first year, and we're expecting probably 500 this next August the 8th. And the folks look at eggs under the microscope, the little butterfly eggs, and it's just a great experience. And we found out that folks are coming from as many as 5 counties around in addition to locally here. So we're really excited about the butterfly programs that we're offering and that the potential that it has for the future. This little guy, how do I go back here? There he is. This little guy is something we've been doing this winter. We've been having salamander hunts. And you don't think about doing that in the winter, but we've learned that they are breeding and moving around from location to location during this time of year. So we've never done an inventory, so to speak, and really tried to find what type of salamanders we have had in the woods. So this year we've solicited families and friends and kids, and we've been turning over logs and rocks and things like that, and have really had a great turnout for a salamander hunt and have found some, especially on those 65-degree days. Now, today we probably wouldn't find one, but those warmer winter days we've had a good time with that. And then when we're out there, of course, there's a lot of folks that are looking for the wildflowers that start blooming early in the spring. That's a big deal. We've got over 360 wildflowers out that we've identified so far, and so that's another sign of spring. Here's a big sign of spring is when we start having school field trips. They come out by the bus loads, and we get all the staff together and start participating and split them up in groups. They'll come out in a bus load or 2 bus loads of 120 or so, and we'll rotate them around with different activities and different subjects, and they just have a great time. Here there's one group out on the trail, and they're learning more about what their surroundings, that they're identifying trees, they're learning more about the animals and the insects. They're on a scavenger hunt right there, a nature scavenger hunt. So that's a huge a part of the program every spring and fall, and more so even in the summertime as we have our year-round schools here in town. And this is the time of year we want to encourage the educators out there to start making their reservations and booking their groups so that they can come out and make sure that their date can be secured with us in the spring and fall months. Okay. Well, there's never a lack for excitement at the campground and the campfire, especially when you start mentioning s'mores. And the kids have just had a great time experiencing the campfire. And some kids have never been around an open fire like that. So this is a great opportunity for them to experience things such as the campfire and the s'mores. But now, since we've been around for 9 years, we're kind of shaking things up this year. And this spring, starting in March, we're going to change that campfire program. We're going to rename it and kind of vamp it up a little bit. We're going to call it Fireside. And by calling it Fireside, that means we're going to do some new things. We're going to have more activities. We're going to kind of spruce up. S'mores are great, but how does banana splits over the fire sound? Or how does a biscuit on a stick with some good jelly and a hot biscuit? Anyway, we're going to kind of show some folks a little different twist of what you can do at the campfire in terms of just some really good chocolate treats. There's no ice cream involved in the banana split, by the way, but but we have lots of scout groups that come out and enjoy our campfires, and it's just a huge program. And camping also, spring of the year, early spring and all through into June is a great time for camping. And I want to emphasize that this year during spring break, and we're offering programs and activities, 2, 3, 4 different programs every day during spring break. And we're also offering camping during spring break. If anyone has a group or has a couple of families that'd like to get together, to give us a call and give us a little notice so we can work with you on the camping. But we're really wanting to encourage folks to visit us during spring break. And I want to mention it this time of year because people are planning, or they would usually be planning, to go out of town and do their out-of-town spring break adventures. So we're trying to say, hey, look, if you're going to have a staycation, stay home with us and come out to the woods. And you may feel like you're a million miles away out there in the woods, but it'll be a nice, affordable outing for you. Now, another new program we're working on is Snakes of Barfield. This is a birthday party situation where the programmer comes out and talks to the kids about the snakes. But we're working on a program that we've really had several requests for, where we can teach the kids and adults easy methods of how to identify the good snakes versus the bad snakes. And of course, the word timber rattlesnake comes up every now and then, and so we're wanting to let everyone know that there's a lot of snakes that mimic that timber rattlesnake, and maybe there's really not as many rattlesnakes in our area as you think, especially when you learn that a lot of them look alike or they'll behave like the rattlesnake. So that's the program we're going to be offering all throughout spring and into the summer. This is a Meet the Critter program where they're meeting the individuals that we have in our shop. We have a couple of snakes, the king snake, corn snake, we've got turtles, we've got lizards, we've got frogs. The kids love coming in and looking at the turtles, and, well, I can't just single out the kids because a lot of folks will come in, adults will come in and sit down and just watch the turtles swimming around in the tank, and we've got some wonderful tanks. So it's not just for kids by any means. This is an example of the butterfly program where we're looking at butterfly eggs under the microscope. And when you start realizing how they're all different and different shapes, and it's just really great. And to see how all ages respond to the butterflies and the different phases is just really great. We started a bug club this year, and we have just been just ecstatic about the response we've gotten. We've had as many as 60 to 65 people attend a bug club, and that's all ages again. We'll have a brief program, and then following the program, we have crafts and everything for the kids, but following the program, we go on a bug hunt. And as you can see, she's very excited. The kids have a blast, the adults have a blast. And by the way, the bug club has upgraded itself and is now called the Arthropod Squad, which, you know, the pod squad for short. But we thought we would give the opportunity for everybody to realize that the bugs or the insects are part of a bigger kingdom. And so the Arthropod Squad won the prize for naming the contest. Again, it's an intergenerational program, and it's just been really, really fun. Okay. This is, we're having a bee program here. We had guest speakers speaking about bees and spiders and a number of activities. Okay, I think we've about covered everything. Does anybody have any questions? We've got an exciting 10th year coming up that we're really pleased to announce and plan some great programs. Anybody have any questions?
Deborah, that's a great update. Anybody have any questions for Deborah? I was just commenting to Chris when I can't believe it's 10 years. Man,
Hard to
it's
believe.
Been a long
fly.
time. Been a long time.
God.
You know, one of our focuses at the Wilderness Station is to make people more environmentally aware of their surroundings. We have people now that have been in our programs that will not step on the bug on the trail. They'll stop and look at it and let it walk on. When we first opened, people would pick up box turtles at the back and bring them up front and say, gosh, look what I found, you know, at the back of the park. And we'd say, well, show us where you found it. And we'd take it back, and then we'd talk to them about, you know, that they have a brother and a sister and a mom and a dad, and they'd be out looking for them, you know. So we try to make them aware of their environmental surroundings, and when we talk about bees, we talk about pollination and how that works in the food chain and how it benefits everyone. So it is a really good ongoing program. Deborah has been referred to as the butterfly lady. She is absolutely phenomenal. You spend about an hour with her at the Wilderness Station. You just get enthused because she can name she said, oh, this is that, and this is this one, and oh, here's one of those. I hadn't seen one of those in 6 months, you know, and you just get all excited about what's going on. And what we're trying to do, too, is make people aware of what's happening in the community. And one of the things that we talked about was reforesting the city one backyard at a time. And we talk about the plants that are host for the butterflies, the trees that are good for the birds, those kind of things. And we find that people are going home, they're planting those in their backyard, they're seeing butterflies come in, they're seeing different species of birds coming in. And so it's one of those things that really ripples out into the community, the effect of the program. So we're really proud of our wilderness program and how it touches the environment, and Deborah and her staff does a great job. I know Mr. Miller has spent the night in the campground out there, too.
Angela hosted my family. It was, probably 8 years ago or so when we were first getting started out there. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fun.
So we have if you haven't spent the night in the campgrounds, and if you're listening to this program, you should try that. They have a great program at night. It's just not making s'mores. They tell some really good ghost stories. They take you on owl prowls. They do owl calls. And believe it or not, they'll answer back most of the time. And it's really interesting, the things that they do.
It's an awesome facility. Deborah, thank you so much. That was really interesting. Move now to item number 4 on our new business, and Gary Arbitt's going to come up and give us an update on spring and summer athletic programs. Gary?
On a balmy 20-degree day, spring and summer's here. Just to give you a quick update, first of all, I'd like to talk about summer sports camps that we offer at SportsComm. Let's see, I think there's some. Did it go up there? Oh, here we go. Currently, we offer 2 weeks of sports camp at SportsComm in the summer. There was a week of June and a week in July. What we figured out was that we were filling up really, really fast, and that the wait list was very, very long. So what we've decided to do, with the help of Thomas Laird and the SportsComm staff, is we've decided to offer SportsComm all summer long. We will actually start the week of June 1st and go through the week of June 20th. Of course, we will not do the week of, there's sports camps there. The week of 4th of July, that tends to not be a popular week as a lot of people are on vacation and out of town. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the cost the same. It was $50 for the week-long camp from 8 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. And basically what we'll do is we'll do basketball, we'll do floor hockey, as you can see there, basketball. We do soccer. We do kickball on the softball fields. We'll do swimming. Just a whole plethora of different activities. We'll teach the participants at a beginner's level all the way up to advanced level, just depending on the ages. The ages are 8 through 14, and that will last approximately 7 weeks. The second order of business I have for you is the upcoming organizational meeting for adult softball that our department currently runs. I don't know exactly how long we've run softball, but I know as long as I can remember they've always had it here in town. And basically that meeting is February the 21st, which is a Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m., and that'll be at the Patterson Park Community Center meeting room. If you need additional information on that, Dennis Nipper at SportsComm, and that number is 895-5040. I kind of hate giving numbers because somebody will say, well, I didn't get that whole number. But if you want to call our main office, or you call SportsComm, or call me, we can all give you information on this activity. Last year, I think we had about 63 teams, and obviously we anticipate, that same number. We do have some obstacles this year. We will be losing one of our parks, I understand. So we've got to get a little more creative on our scheduling to make sure we can get everybody participating. That leads into the youth baseball, softball, and soccer sign-ups. Just want to put the word out to everyone that I know it's cold outside, but it's that time of the year. You have to think about softball and soccer and baseball. And all the youth leagues here in town are currently taking sign-ups. I think some of them end this weekend, so if you have not signed up, please do that so you don't get put on a wait list or get left out. We want to make sure that every child or person that wants to participate is able to participate in a program. If you'll call our main office or go on the city website, I believe there's links on there for each of the organizations, and you can click on there and it'll give you their total information and what they offer, age groups, locations, and all that good stuff. let's see. The final thing I bring to you today is just to mention how we have worked with the Rutherford County Schools for facilities and assisting them, and just want to kind of update the commission on what we are currently doing with the Rutherford County Schools. The Rutherford County Schools, their middle school baseball and softball, a lot of the schools don't have fields, as you're aware of. So we have 4 Rutherford County middle schools that utilize our parks for their baseball and softball, McFadden and Central Middle School and the new Rockville School and Christiana Middle School. Also, we have 2 high school rugby programs that utilize our facilities, Siegel High School and Blackman High School. And also last but not least, the high school tennis programs that currently utilize our facilities. The 4 high schools are Blackman, Oakland, Riverdale, and Siegel, and the middle schools are Central, Christiana, Rockville, and Siegel. And we also have helped out Middle Tennessee Christian, which is a private school, with their matches and practices. I know that's kind of been in the news lately, but it was something that we were able to work out with the schools to give them some practice and game time, obviously before the new courts are going to be built, hopefully. Anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them, and if I can, I will steer you in the right direction.
Anybody have any questions for Gary? Comments? Sounds like a busy spring and summer.
It's going to be. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Mr. Chairman, you know, it's kind of hard to think about playing baseball and softball. It's cold outside. But for folks that are looking to sign up their children, like Gary said, now's the time to do that. You can hit that link on our website, which is murfreesboro.gov/parks, and there are links to each one of those organizations' information. And we encourage you to get out and play. And I know that it's February. You'll see them right now. You'll see the middle schools playing on our fields. They're already starting to play. And you will see the league start to practice in March, and their games will start in April. So it's just right around the corner.
All right. At our final item under new business, item number 5, Angela Jackson is going to walk us through a consideration of a nature camp and a wandering waters camp. Angela?
Hi. I too am excited to talk about summer. It makes me feel warmer. The first camp that I wanted to tell you about is a new camp called Nature Camp, and this is for ages 6 to 8. We want to do something to really help as a stepping stone to teach kids some basics of enjoying the outdoors and learning more about their environment and really getting out there and getting in the creek and catching crawdads and going on hikes, learning a little bit about animal tracks, different plants, other animals that are out there. A lot of just good traditional camp activities, you know, making friends, playing games, things like that. So for the 6 to 8 year olds, it's meant as a an introduction into a lot of the different things that we do in this department and all around Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro has a lot of wonderful natural features that we like to get out and play for sure. So the first camp that I'd like to propose to you is called Nature Camp. We're going to offer it twice, once in June, once in July, to really get out there and offer it to as many kids as possible. It is a half-day camp from 9 to noon, and the fee, I think there's a mistake in your packet, if you would please notice. The fee is actually $40 plus a $10 activity fee. So we're looking at a $50 fee, which is consistent with other half-day camps that we do. We are looking to offer the June camp at the General Bragg Trailhead, and looking forward to the July camp being at the new Cason Trailhead as part of our Greenway extension. So that is something to really be happy to be outside and get to play a lot with that group. The second is targeting the teenagers, and this is a camp that Rachel Singer has been putting together. It's called Wandering Waters Camp for ages 12 to 15. It is a full-day camp, to be a full week, to be offered in late June, from June 22nd to June 26th. And obviously it's going to have a water focus. it's kind of a combination of science and adventure programs as you get out and explore all of the waters that wander around Murfreesboro, really get out on the Stones River in canoes and kayaks and by wading and splashing around and just discovering all of the different things that are along the riparian zone, things to enjoy and do and play. You can kind of see from some of the slides that are being passed. It'll include some basic paddling instruction and also some just good fun. That camp has a $65 fee with a $10 activity fee, so a total of $75 for a week. Again, consistent with a lot of the other camps that we've done in the past.
All right. Thanks, Angela.
You bet. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions or comments regarding either one of these camps?
Yes, sir, I do. I noticed that there's nothing in there for the age groups between 9, 10, and 11.
Well, that's because we're already offering those. I'm just bringing you the new ones.
Okay.
That age group will be offered through some of the camps that are done with the staff at the Wilderness Station. Actually, the Wilderness Adventure Camps target that group. We have a lot of camps. It's a very good point. I'm glad you pointed that out. We've done really well at offering camps for that good middle age group. We're looking to expand and catch them on the front end and catch them after they've gone through some of those as well. But I appreciate you pointing that out. There is something for all the ages.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
The Wandering Water Camps, what's the time for that?
It is from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m., and they'll be meeting at the General Bragg Trailhead.
And Mr. Chairman, we would need a motion to approve those new camps.
We'll need a motion for approval of both of these camps with the corrections that Angela noted on the nature camp.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are approved. Angela, thanks. Those are going to be really nice programs. We've got a little other business I believe Lanny needs to bring before us, so I'll turn it over to him.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Just want to bring up one fact. Mr. Rainier, I think yesterday, had some minor knee surgery. I know he's probably watching the commission meeting. He loves to watch Channel 3. But we want to wish him well and tell him, Dennis, when you get ready, we'll get you in volunteering for some of these camps. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is the fact that we're going to have some closures of our greenway. I'm sure you read in Saturday's paper that they're going to be working on Broad Street between Main and Memorial. There are 2 bridges there. They are on both sides of the Dodge store. And if you are familiar with the trail in that particular area, the trail circles around the back. It goes under Broad Street, circles around the back of the Dodge store, and then goes back under Broad Street and comes out at Cannonsburg. Though that section will be closed starting February the 16th and will reopen June the 15th. So we want to let our trail users know that that section will be closed for 4 months. We have been meeting with representatives of TDOT. There will be more information coming out about lane closures and so forth on Main that other staff will be involved with. I know Mr. Chris Schaffner is active in this venture, and we're going to do our best to let the public know what's above the bridge and below the bridge, so to speak. But for the trails, just know that we will stop folks that are coming from the trail on the Lytle Creek Trail before they get to Broad Street, and that area will be closed all the way to the trailhead at Cannonsburg. So we will have signs up at Cannonsburg. Hopefully, this work will be finished by June 15th because, in July, the second weekend of July, we have Uncle Dave Macon Days. And that's a huge event, and we want to make sure that that is completed by then. It's much needed work. Those bridges need the repair. It's one of those things that I guess in the face of progress, you have to endure a little pain. So we have 4 months that we have to do without that section of trail, and I know that Broad will probably be down to 2 lanes during that time, but we'll improve the safety for the walkers, joggers, and for the people on Broad Street. So it's a needed improvement. But I did want to bring that to your attention and let the public be aware that that section of trail will be closed during those dates.
Thanks for the update, Lanny.
Chairman, and just so the public knows, I'm sure you did from reading the paper, but not trying to pass the buck, but this is a state project, correct?
This is a state project. It is, all of that was dictated by the Department of Transportation, and that's who we've been meeting with. It was on their schedule. It was a relatively short notice, but we think that we're doing the best that we can do from the city side to get as much information out to the public. I know the businesses in that area, they plan to take flyers to them to notify them specifically because they'll be the ones probably impacted the most. But I know that we have folks that use the trail that ride to work downtown, that love to get out at the Cannonsburg Trailhead and start their run or walk from that area. So we just want to make sure that everybody is in the loop and knows there are alternatives available.
They can run on down West Main and pick it up now down by the track. Is that they could get on the track?
Yes, they could. And if for folks coming the other way, what we would recommend is probably before they get to the railroad track to turn around there and head back to whatever trailhead they got out at that particular point. Because, you know, every one of our crossings generally is unimpeded except for the crossing there at the railroad track. And you do have to endure the trains that come through there. So if you're coming from that direction, we recommend you run down to where the tracks are, turn around, and head back to wherever you started your run.
Thanks for the update. Any other comments?
If I could, I just want to mention a couple of things. One is, and I really am impressed with the amount of activities that all of our program directors and all of our facilities have going on. I think the public, most of them are not aware of all the things that you guys do. And I think that's probably our biggest challenge is getting the information out, the advertising, if you will. Another thing I'm impressed with is how great each one of you coordinators and each one of the leaders of our department, how they work together. If you've noticed, they all help each other and they all seem to cross-train and they all work on each other's programs. And I'm really impressed with that. I think we have some of the best employees of anywhere, and that's why that we can brag on our departments. And one of the other things I wanted to mention, I know we talked a lot about Patterson Park and we talked a lot about SportsComm. Maybe you can give us an update at our next meeting of what are we doing with the facility over at the McFadden Community Center. I know there's a lot of children in that area that need a lot of activities, need some attention as well. Maybe we can see some programs that are being
Mr.
more
Bratcher, if you've
utilized in that
noticed,
area.
what I've tried to do is bring you at each one of these two meetings different folks that are in different areas of the department so that they can give you updates. They can inform you on the programs. While they're doing that, they're informing the public of what we're doing as well. It's a good point. But we plan to continue this trend so that we can bring McFadden. We've got some other areas that we want to target, some programs that will be coming up for the summer that we want to highlight, those kind of things. So we're trying to get a little more information into the commission so you know what the staff is doing. They are, like you said, very highly professional staff. They do coordinate very well together. We're very proud of them in the things that they do. And if you're around them long, they're much like a moving train. You have to jump on if you're going to catch the train. So, they're working every day on trying to get new programs and getting people involved in the community and so forth.
There's definitely a reason we win all those awards.
A lot of credit goes to
Our facilities help, but it's the people that make the difference.
Absolutely.
And if Dennis is watching at home, we all knew when he retired he'd fall apart. Get well, Dennis. Any other business to come before us? Being none, we stand adjourned.